to the fatwa against Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse have a fatwa over him to be killed by a mullah. You are live on air in Debate TV. Who is with me?
Hi, this is Janine.
Hi Janine, how are you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to comment on my religion, Islam.
Okay, great.
And just wanted to say that it's such a beautiful religion, and it's completely different than how it's portrayed on the TV and the media. And I just want people to know that whatever they see on TV is not always correct. And
like what about? Forgive me, please. If Islam is a beautiful, is it beautiful to beat a wife? Is that a beautiful?
I'm sorry?
Is it beautiful? You know, you sound like a nice lady, and I welcome you in our show. You are saying Islam is beautiful, right?
Yes.
Okay. If Islam is beautiful, how the Quran say the man he can beat his wife?
You have to look at the whole verse, not just one specific verse, and focus on it. Because in the Bible, Jesus also says that for every time that your eye sees sin, pluck it out. But does he mean that literally?
Yes.
If he meant that literally, yes, all the Christians in the U.S. and around the world wouldn't have eyes right now.
No, lady, no.
So
lady,
you have to look at the bigger picture. Many Muslims that I know do not even touch their wives that way, just out of respect.
No.
And although it is allowable in our religion for a man to, touch his wife in that way, although it's allowable, it's not always right because they can be out of control. And there's specific rules to that also. It's moderation. There has to be a reason. It can't just be out of no reason just because he wants to strike at her.
Like what?
And many Muslim families that I know don't even. It's best to avoid it. It's best to not do it.
No.
Than to.
If it's in the Quran, it means it's allowed, and we agree about that. Correct? It's allowed.
I'm sorry.
It's allowed in the Quran.
Yes, it is allowed.
Okay,
yes,
great.
it is allowed.
Now, what is the reason for a husband to beat his wife?
The reasons for it is to begin with, before even thinking about hitting, one's wife, you're supposed to communicate with her, talk to her about it. If let's say there's a problem, or if she's not willing to negotiate on something, or if he tells her to do something and she's not willing to do it, they should first talk it out and communicate. However, if she's still not listening and if she refuses to obey him, he can then, get to that step. Unfortunately, people can get out of control, and it should only be a light tap. It should not harm her in a way where she is severely hurt or severely bruised or anything like that. It should not leave a mark.
Does it say there?
It shouldn't leave a mark.
Does it say? Oh, it doesn't leave a mark, which means this is harm. I can beat the hell of you and it still don't leave a mark.
But here's the thing: if you interpret it that way, if everybody says that, okay, well, let me do it this way, as long as it doesn't leave a mark, that's just, it's just the person that's creating that rule. If in the Quran it says you're not supposed to leave a mark, then you can't just go around it
where in the Quran
just to have your way with your wife.
Sorry,
you know the rules, and if you respect and love her, you would not try and harm her.
Where in the Quran it says
and
don't leave a mark?
I'm sorry?
Where in the Quran it says don't leave a mark?
I can get you a verse if you want.
Great. I will be happy to see it. Where?
Sure.
It doesn't say that.
I would be happy to show you.
Quran chapter 4 verse number 34 say clearly just beat them. There's no light beating. There's nothing about don't leave marks. This is not true.
I will show you.
Okay, great. I wanna see that verse. And remember, we are talking about chapter 4 verse number 34. And take your time and look for the verse, no problem. I'm talking to people who are listening to us. Like, first of all, regardless of how light the beating is an insult. If somebody spit at somebody in America, you take him to court because a spit is an insult. You don't spit at people. You see how light spitting is? Very light. Have you ever heard of somebody being killed because somebody spit at him? But this is a very bad insult. So it's very clear, number one, that Islam teach not to respect women, teach that women, they are nothing, and as you said, if you negotiate with her and she refuses to obey you, we beat her, which means I am allowed in Islam to force my ideas in other human being just because she is a female. If she doesn't agree, here we go, we got a solution, I will beat you.
Can I comment? It's not just because she's female. He doesn't have a right to hit her just because she's female. That has nothing to do with the fact that she's female. In Islam, men and women are equal but different, and they each have different duties, but they are both equal, and they each should be respected. And if a man truly loves his wife, he would never lay a hand on her. But it is allowed in Islam as a way to control and allow communication and try and fix the problem, so it wouldn't lead to more problems in the future.
So you are saying to me,
the first step that is really important is communication before anything. They have to talk it out.
Communication. You say to her, don't do that, correct? You say to her, don't do that. Then she do it, you beat her. Is that communication? Is that how communication is? And you are saying to me, this will correct the problem by beating her. What kind of correction is correction?
No, I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth, sir. I didn't say to solve a problem he has to beat her. And I told you that it's not beating. It's
what?
A tap that is not going to leave a mark. I told you that.
Show me the proof. I have in front of me
Please,
hadith of Sahih
Bukhari. I ask you really, calmly and politely, do not put words in my mouth, because I know this verse can be taken in many different ways.
No problem.
Just as
listen.
Just as the verses about jihad can be taken in a lot of ways, and the verse about the 72 virgins can be taken a lot of different ways. So I ask that you do not put words in my mouth as I try to explain this, because it is a complex subject. Go on.
No problem. First, you are the one who said, when I said to you, this is the problem is going to be solved, you said no. And by the way, this show is recorded. We can play it later. And you will see, yourself, you said, to correct the problem. Now, I said to you, is that how you correct the problem? You said, I did not put word in my mouth. I did not say correct. So he is beating her for what? If he is not going to correct the problem,
it's not the only way to resolve a problem.
Please,
it's not the only way.
Please let me finish.
The best way to resolve any problem is communication.
Okay.
That's the best way.
Communication did not work. You beat her, correct?
Talking. That's what I mean. To talk it out. To try and talk it out and see what each person thinks is the right thing to do before anything.
You are saying to her, do this, or if you don't agree with me, I will beat you, correct?
I'm sorry?
The man, he don't talk to the women really. He's saying to her, don't do that. He's not negotiating and the proof if she
there is negotiating, because if he's wrong, and if he says something against our religion, then who is he to say? Who is he to say don't do this? If he told his wife, don't wear hijab, then he's wrong. So he's not always right. The man is not always right. He's only right if he's speaking right, if he's speaking about justice. But if the woman is speaking about justice and refuses to do something that she thinks is wrong, she has a right to refuse that.
Okay, let us say.
For example, if my parents told me not to wear the scarf, or if my parents told me don't do this, don't do that, I have a right to refuse that. I respect my parents, but if they told me to do something wrong, what I think is wrong, I have a right to refuse that. So just because I'm female does not make me entitled to being weaker or to being silent. Because as a female, I will respond the way that I believe is right to respond.
Can I talk?
And I'll tell you right now.
Can I talk?
I'll tell you right now.
Can I talk?
I expect my husband to respect and love me enough so he knows to communicate with me. If he wants to talk anything out, he comes to me first and we negotiate together, because that's how a marriage works. When two people talk things out together. All my friends and all my family members who are married, alhamdulillah, they've been married for many years. That's what they do too.
How many wives your husband have?
I'm sorry?
How many wives your husband have?
There's only one.
Why? What do you mean
and
one?
It will only be me.
Why only have one? Quran allowed him to have 4. So